right, you're listening to Hawke Talk. I'm here today with Lawrence Longo. How are
Hey
you,
man,
man?
thanks for having me. I'm great.
Of course, thanks for coming. So I imagine you're in the delivery room, you come out and you basically look at the food in the hospital like we all do and go, this is shit. I got to fix this right away. Like that's how this all started, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Actually, when I was reviewing burgers and I had my first baby, I did a burger review in the hospital, and it was
Yeah.
a sad review. The burger was awful.
Yeah, I did all DoorDash when we had our daughter because I heard from both my brother-in-law and one of my best friends at the same hospital got food poisoning from the hospital food upon the birth of their first
Yeah,
child.
you think that the hospital have good food, right?
You'd think that would be a
Yeah.
thing, but apparently not. So yeah, so take me back. Where are you originally
I'm from Toronto, Canada. Come
Yep.
from an Italian family with a lot of everybody thinks they're the
Nice.
best cook, and
Yep. I think that's
yeah,
fair.
so they were all great cooks, to be honest. All my grandmothers, my mothers, my sisters. Never made a meal myself. Only ate my family's cooking, but my family was really into food. Like the type of
Yep.
family that's talking about what's for lunch at breakfast, what's for dinner at lunch, and then what are we having as a snack after dinner? Like what are we ordering? So
Yeah. I'm like so funny side note, I'm currently like training for my first triathlon and went to like full meal prep and eating super clean. And I decided after I do it, which it's Saturday, I'm doing a week cheat. Like I'm going to eat whatever I want next week. And I've actually got a full list of like, this is breakfast and lunch and dinner for like the next 4 days after it.
you won't be able to though.
Just that.
You've basically trained your stomach not to be able to eat like that. And
Right. So
you're screwed. You're going to go and take like 2 bites and then you're not going to finish any of it. And that dream's going to sail.
Yeah, it's funny. I just had this conversation. It's really fun on paper, but I'm probably going to get to my first one's In and Out. Long story, but that's going to be the first thing. And it's like from there, I probably will be done to be like, all right, back to meal prep. But yeah, so what did your parents do growing up? What were their professions?
my family was commercial real estate. My mother was a stay-at-home mother. I have 3 younger sisters, and we were all within 5 years. So it was a crazy household. But my father was did commercial real estate. It was something like his father did, and was just kind of stuck in that path. And I grew up playing hockey, played at a high level, played junior A, won a Canadian.
That's rare in Canada, from what I hear.
Very.
Right?
But I was the only one in my school that played hockey.
100%.
And I went to university in Toronto, played hockey there, and my university went on strike. And I was filming a TV show in Canada, playing as an extra, being a hockey player in a hockey sitcom. And I moved to take a course in filmmaking at the New York Film Academy in LA, and never moved back. And I got a job working for the producer of The Matrix. Yeah, and I started working in the film business in when I was like 21 years old. I was in Hollywood trying to become.
What was your goal? Yeah, and before that, were you like growing up? Did you think you might be a hockey player?
That was the only thing, until I hit puberty. The only thing I was going to be was a hockey player.
And then when you hit puberty, did that change? Like literally, like your teenage years, were you still going to be a hockey player?
Then I was getting more into like other things, like the movie business. And
okay, so you were before the strike, your college strike. You were already kind of.
I was definitely like it was like I watched movies before hockey games, and like I was very superstitious, and so I was very interested in the movie business. I just didn't know what to do or how to get into it, being in Toronto. So that was kind of like, and then at one point I wanted to be a sports doctor. Then I realized that school wasn't the thing for me.
Yeah.
And it was, and then my university went on strike and I went to LA.
So when you say your university went on strike, which university?
It was York University.
And they just literally shut the whole thing down mid-school year? Yeah,
it was like the teachers' assistants weren't getting paid enough and they went on strike. So basically the school shut down. It was like literally for 2.5, 3 months. Like it's a famous strike in Canada. It's happened twice at the school. And I moved to LA.
Got it. And so what was your original thought? I'm going to go to LA for a few months and then go back to school. Were you like, they're out, I'm out?
No, I knew. In my head, I told my friends, I was like, I'm not coming back. I'm going to figure it out. Like if I was like, I'm going to sleep on a cot in the Venice Beach. You know what I mean?
Not a bad place.
Not a bad place. So I'm going to figure it out. And so that's kind of what I did. And I started taking class.
How'd you Yeah, you said you took classes, but most people do fail at getting into the industry. Like it's a very hard industry to break in. How did you end up connecting with the producer for The Matrix, and like how did that happen?
Honestly, I was calling everybody I knew that knew somebody in LA just to like introduce me to somebody. Like, and
Yeah.
a friend of ours, family friend of ours, said, "Hey, we're investing in a production company. This guy produced The Matrix, Swordfish, Lethal Weapon. He's starting his own business. Go meet with him." So I like showed up at 2 o'clock one Sunday afternoon to meet this guy that showed up at like 8 p.m. Like literally, I just
So you showed up at 2 and he got there 6
yeah,
hours later?
and literally just waited and waited. It was like 2001, so I don't even think I had a cell phone, So, and yeah, he totally forgot that he had a meeting with me. Told me to come back
Yeah.
the next day, and I got a job. Literally that next week, he's berated.
I mean, for you to wait 6 hours, then come back the next day
So
shows
I had no,
something in terms of
there's no
dedication.
option
Yeah.
for me. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was getting this job because the guy was like 39-year-old, like really kind of hotshot producer,
Yeah.
and you just knew that that was somebody you wanted to like learn from.
And so how long were you working with
I
him?
worked for him for 3.5 years.
Okay. And was the movie business everything you hoped it was? And it was
I honestly,
great?
I will write a book one day. I got tortured like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Swimming with Sharks? Pretty, minus
I
getting
have not.
tied up in a basement. Yeah, it was Hollywood. It was your
Yeah.
bosses would yell at you, throw things at you, and everything was fine the next hour. So
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was the Ari Gold style management.
very much. And I loved it. I loved working there. I loved the business. I loved the development of it, and I learned a lot. I made a lot of friends, a lot of like good connections. I really like hustled my way in the business, and then from there I started my own company, which did comic books, graphic novels, children's storybooks, and published comic books for a few years.
You guys were the publisher for it?
Yeah, we created the content and we published the content.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. How did that come about? Like, so you were working with this producer. How did you pivot into
Ye-
that?
Jesus, what wilds! It's I don't know how much details I should get into, but the producer ended up passing away on a motorcycle accident.
Oof.
And then a kid who I'd known growing up in Canada was had all these great huge ideas, and I was like, you got to make these comic books. That nobody's gonna like buy a movie from a 23-year-old kid with dinosaurs against big tanks. You got to figure out,
Yeah.
we got to own the IP. I was very much like the content. You got to own the content. We got to create some sort of form of this content, so we could own it throughout, and so we kind of like spent time doing that, and I ended up producing Spaceballs, the animated series for Mel Brooks, and
Nice.
going through the typical things writers, producers go through in Hollywood. Signing with a big agency like CAA and working with them and coming
Yeah.
so close so many times, but yet failing every
Yeah.
time. Like it's all like, oh, we have this and this, but nothing's happening.
Yeah. No, there's so much. I mean, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's so much hype around entertainment where there's like everything's coming together in the last minute. It really, that last step is what matters, but it looks great until that last step. And then it either happens or it
Exactly.
doesn't.
And then in most of the times it happens and it's not good. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
So
And
it's a
so
great,
you end up,
it's such a
yeah, go ahead.
great training ground for young entrepreneurs, though. And
Yeah.
just because of the sheer amount of times everybody says no to you, like you have to
Yeah.
have thick skin to be in that business,
Yep.
So that's that helped.
Yep. Yeah. No, and I think just the work ethic too. Like as you said, it's brutal, but there's something about the grit that develops
Exactly.
too. That like the people that come out of that world, it's like and my head of marketing here was talking yesterday that he was a competitive swimmer. He's like, I was in the pool at 4 a.m. or no, he's like 5 a.m. So at 4 a.m., my dad had to take me to the pool, but it was Chicago in the winter, and so he wasn't going to be the one to get up and sweep or shovel the driveway and scrape ice off the car. So I got to do it at 4 a.m. and then get into my swimsuit and jump in a freezing cold pool. Get into work at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. has never been a thing.
Yeah. No, I mean,
there's-
growing up in Canada, that's what I would do. I'd wake up at 6 a.m.
Right.
go skate before I even went to school,
Yep.
So it's like hard work and that kind of stuff has just been ingrained into me. And kind of like, I took what I learned from the movie business and like still a movie producer. I'm just in the food business. I still like
Yeah.
my pizza is content to me. It's all
Yeah.
like it's all the same thing. Is I'm serving an audience a product, and that
Yeah.
product's got to be awesome, so the audience keeps coming back and telling their friends. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and on that note, how long did you do the publishing side and the creating comic books and graphic
I don't know
novels?
exact years, but it probably from
Okay.
like in the I guess 2004 to
Yeah.
2012 maybe.
Okay. So you really
Yeah, yeah,
stuck with
yeah,
it.
yeah. We were,
So,
yeah, well, yeah, we had a couple graphic novels. Like I said, we were doing children's storybooks. Sold a bunch of
yeah.
TV shows. Nothing got made.
Nice.
Like had a real had one foot in, one foot out of the business.
Yeah. And so for 8 years doing that, like, did it pay the bills or
I
was it like,
honestly
I
didn't
mean,
have a
like,
pot to piss in. It just paid the bills.
yeah.
Like I was one of those people who
Yeah.
was
Got
like,
it.
oh yeah, I didn't have to pay taxes this year. Yeah, I didn't make any money.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. So I've been there. That sounds way too familiar. And so on that one, it's so funny you just said that. How did you stick with it for 8 years? Like, I mean, it sounds like maybe it wasn't the finances that were driving you, and or you just
Oh,
had
I was
faith in the
always
future.
hustling
Like,
on the side. So during like those
got
years,
it.
like my friend had started a drink company called Activate Drinks, and it was a drink where you put the vitamin in it, you twist it, the
I remember that.
and
Yeah.
you shake it. So I was like celebrity seeding that at like Coachella and like, all the connections I'd made through Hollywood. I was helping him get product into these people's hands. Then I think
Yeah.
I helped them get the product into Canada. So I was like,
Got it.
helping getting that product in Canada. At the same time, I was helping a friend who just started a wall decor business sign his first deal with TJ Maxx and like help
Uh-huh.
build that business. So on the side, I was like always hustling and making money to like figure out how to keep surviving in Hollywood
Yeah.
until at some point I was just like, what happened was there was a company that a guy started called Twit Mob, and then turned into a
Uh-huh.
company called Speaker, and they were one of like the first
Yep.
influencer marketing companies, and I
Yep.
basically helped them get all of their studio deals and like some big
Got it.
deals. So it was like I was like, hey, I'd go into the movie studios and say, I can make your movie the most talked about movie on social media, in the
Yeah.
world by having these 20
Yeah.
influencers talk about it at the same time, at the same right when the movie comes out. And so I was on the brink of like that kind of stuff, which kind of transitioned me. And while I was doing that, I created an app. Somebody had set up a meeting for me through LinkedIn, and I was like, "What?" And I ended up going to this meeting, and they're like, "Hey, all these influencers, can you get them to create their own app on my platform?" I forget what the app. You might know the person who started that platform. Anyways, I was like, "Oh, I got a
Yeah.
great idea. I just sold a TV show called Off the Menu about discovering secret menu items at restaurants across America. It's like diners, drive-ins, and dives. But it's all secret menu items because through my time in the movie industry, I'm going all out to all
Yep.
these restaurants, and I got like people bring me secret menu items, and like Wolfgang Puck's
Yeah.
bringing you this like smoked salmon pizza, and then you're like
Yep.
at In and Out, and somebody's ordering animal style, and I was like, holy fuck, there's a new world of secret menu items here that I'm like want to explore from like a movie or not a movie, a TV standpoint. So I
Yeah.
sold a
And was that like, was there any specific passion in food, or was it just like, I like food? I mean, I love food too. Like, was it just I like food. This is fun. I'm gonna go do
my
this.
grandfather said, never get into food. You won't make any money in food. Everyone will steal from you, and don't get into entertainment. It's
Yeah.
it's really hard to make in those two businesses. So
Yeah. Perfect.
I didn't. My passion for food was literally like just loving it the way like somebody who loves food does. Like I never cooked a meal for myself.
Yep.
So my like thing was, oh yeah, I've
Yep.
eaten 45,000 meals, myself because I've never cooked a meal. I've gone
Yeah.
out every single day of my life since I could like
Yeah.
eat out. I would do it, not cook. So
Yeah.
no, I was just passionate about food from like a consumer standpoint.
Yeah. Got it. And so, what year was it that you created that? You sold that show?
2015, I sold the show. 2016, I
Okay.
launched the app. Because once again, I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to own the show.
Yeah. This app.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to own the show. I'm going to create a product. So the show is like something beyond just the show. that was always
Yeah.
where my head was at. And yeah, so I created an app that curated all the secret menu items across the country. I sent out an
Yeah.
email to like 50 friends. One of my friends was a PR girl that was in food, Rachel Krupa, and she said, "Hey, this is a great idea. I could probably help you." And then she got me all the like articles of Eater and all that stuff. And the app kind of like I think it at one point had 250,000 downloads. So
Nice.
yeah,
Real.
it was, and it just curated secret menu items, but I had no like monetization strategy. So
Yeah. So so that's 2015, 16. Where did you take it from there? Like you've got this now database of people, you've got some relationships in food, you're still selling some TV shows here and there. Like what's next?
So, well, the art business starts doing really well. So I have now money for myself.
Which business?
Remember I said I would help my friend broker a deal at TJ Maxx. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The Walmart. Got
he's
it. Yeah.
now one of the largest wall decor vendors there. So that was like, I was, like,
So- and you were like, and you had a piece of the deal?
yeah. And my like working with Twit Mob and Speaker Word, so I create this app.
Yep.
I raise a little money for this app, and I knew I had to come up with a monetization strategy. So the idea was that through secret menu items, I believe that I could drive foot traffic to restaurants. And I had to figure out how to prove that and who was going to pay for that. So I started thinking, look, restaurants will for sure pay me $30 a month. That's nothing. And I'll have their secret menu item on my app and it will drive people in the restaurants. Like, I got that pushback. Well, prove it to me. How do you prove it to me? And like, I didn't have the technology mindset of like, am I going to figure out how to like prove it to them? So I said, well, I'll be able to get more money from the customers if I charge customers. And by that, I can prove to the restaurants that I'm driving customers to their restaurants. So I created the app where it's $20 a month. You got one free secret menu item every single day at cool restaurants around LA. And instead of having an off the menu that just curated all the best secret menu items for free, I basically made it a food club. And and that's kind of what I did. And that was my education into the restaurant business that kind of led to, I guess, where I am today.
Yeah. So how did that go? Did you end up getting a lot of users and started monetizing it?
It was a tough go. We got, at one point at the highlight of off the menu, I had 4,000 users. So it was paying its bills.
Yeah.
It was paying its bills. I was running a real call mom and pop business. And I started to create events that would help me drive foot traffic to my app, not foot traffic, but users. And I created this thing called the Burger Showdown for the LA Times. And I teamed up Marshmallow, Tommy Lee, Shay Mitchell, all these celebrities to create their own burgers at the Wallace Annenberg Center for Performing Arts. It was a huge success. And then COVID hit. And it was like, what's going to happen with the app? The app started to pick up steam during COVID because it allowed people to have something to do. And that's where I started to peak. But I also, before that, I brought Prince Street Pizza, a national pizza day to LA. And if you were on off the menu, you got to bypass the line. I literally had
that line had to be absurd too.
300 or 400 downloads over that weekend. All to eat this pizza. And I created this relationship with the Prince Street, the son of the founder of Prince Street. And I said to him, Dom, why do we not open up Prince Street in LA? He's like, oh, my dad, he's tough. He says no to everybody. Good luck. I said, well, can I meet him? He's like, yeah, of course. But I'm just warning you, he doesn't he's no interest in doing this. I met him at Peter Luger. We got it. We hit it off. Nice. And I said, listen, I think I can help you expand Prince Street. I can see one in every major city, and I promise you, I won't make it Domino's. I think I can, really build this business. And he asked me where I was from, and I said, "Well, I'm from Canada." He's like, "No, I know that." I said, "Where are you from in Italy?" And I told him Calabria, and he's like, "Where in Calabria?" And I said, "Cosenza." He's like, "Me too." And then he was like, "Let's try this out, kid." And that led me to opening up the first Prince Street in LA.
Yeah, that was West Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah. and we opened it up
Yep.
during COVID. But before that, I produced the Burger Showdown, which I teamed up 50 celebrities with 50 burger joints and Uber Eats across America. And I had like Matthew McConaughey, Melissa McCarthy, Dwayne Wade, like massive celebrities all creating these secret menu burgers for restaurants, and then I did Tenderfest with Off the Menu. But to be honest with you, Off the Menu went downhill once Facebook changed their algorithm. I had my customer acquisition model down. It's like I was paying $20 per customer. They would turn around and spend $20 on the app. And literally I was making money the next month per user. And, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I couldn't figure out how to attain users.
Yeah, all the changes on Facebook were annoying a few years ago. But what do you call it? And you also did a burger joint too. You did Herbs, right?
Yep.
Was that before or after Prince Street?
And that was after Prince Street.
It was after. Okay, I didn't realize that. For some reason, I thought it was
J Lux, famous LA, Los Angeles real estate agent.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to come look at this location. It could be for Prince Street. I was like, Jay, this is West Hollywood. I already have a Prince Street in West Hollywood. He's like, it's far away. And so I went to go to look at it, and it was the old Herbs. And I was like, we got to bring Herbs back. And he's like, what do you mean Herbs back? I was like, this is a famous burger stand that should never have closed. And when I ate a burger a day every day for a year in 2018.
Let's touch on that. We'll go back to the Herbs thing. You ate a burger a day every day for 2018. Did you do a blood test at the end of that year? Because I'm a huge burger fan, but I'm always worried about the blood.
So unlike everyone, what was it called? Deep Size Me or some Super Size Me?
Oh, Super Size Me, yeah.
Everyone was like, your cholesterol must have been crazy. I was like, well, no, I eat lunch every day. I eat a sandwich. I eat something for lunch, a protein. Yeah. I wasn't going around looking for the shittiest burger. I ate a lot of shitty burgers, but I wanted to find the best burger. I had put a little money into a burger company called Burgers Never Say Die, which was the first smash burger in LA. I mean, every burger joint you see now that does a smash burger was like pretty much a copy of Burgers Never Say Die. Although they didn't create the smash burger, but they made it cool in LA. And while we were building out that restaurant, I was like, I want to eat.
Is that the one in Hollywood that I've heard about? Like off
No,
highway?
That's the one it's in Silver Lake.
What's there's another popular one that's known as the best burger now. It's a smash
For
burger.
the win.
I'm trying to remember it. Yes, thank you.
Great burger.
That's the one. I still haven't tried it.
Yeah. There's so many good burgers in LA. We're like, everyone like, they're like, oh, what burger do you think is the best? And it's like, you know what? The top 10 burgers in LA would be the best burgers in any city in America. So we're so.
It's a great spot for burgers. Father's Office is a legendary spot, and it's obviously different though. Like some people are going to like that, some people are like For the Win. But,
everyone's going to like their own thing, But you can't.
Yeah, Herbs, Hi Ho, there's a bunch of good ones.
Amboy.
Yep. Heavy Handed now it's gotten super popular. Yeah. So a year, and was that for like something to do with the app, or was it just like I want to go eat a burger every day?
So.
Like, were you creating content around it, or?
I was doing content around it. Oh yeah, I had Big Shots burger reviews on Instagram. Like, I had Casey Neistat call me. He's like, you have lightning in a bottle here with this thing, and I was like, honestly, I promised my wife I'd do it for a year. I did gain 35 pounds. My cholesterol was fine because I was saying I was eating good burgers, so I was eating good meat, and it wasn't like I was eating bad burgers, but I definitely gained weight.
The core can take, but there.
No, I was definitely creating I reviewed all 365 burgers on my Instagram. If you really scroll deep, you'll find some fun ones.
That's awesome. And so then you decide to open your own burger spot through J Lux.
So then when I went and looked at it, well, no, that wasn't the plan. The plan was I called Sonia, who was the owner of Herbs until it closed in 2018. I said, Sonia, I want to give you money to open up Herbs again. I said, it's on the market, the location. I know we can put up some equipment and we can get it going again and give West Hollywood, Herbs back, because there was so much history to Herbs that I just didn't think I thought it would be good for Off the Menu to bring back this burger stand. And she's like, Lawrence, I don't want to run the business. I'll sell it to you and I'll work for you. And I was like, oh, wow. You're giving me an amazing I felt like I was like buying the rights to an old movie and I was going to
Yeah.
recreate this, like, because in my head, I'm running a movie studio with food. Like, that's like, I think I'm running a media
Right.
company. It's really food. So I thought
Yeah.
I'd take this awesome IP, and I thought I see all these burger stands closing because they can't handle what's going on, inflation and everything like that. I was like, well, why don't I create this like neighborhood burger stand, which is Herbs, and replicate that in every neighborhood across America? And that's what I'm setting out to do with Herbs Burgers, is making that neighborhood burger
And
stand. And it's really more than a burger
love
stand;
that.
it's a diner stand, because if you'll notice, I serve pastrami, breakfast burritos, breakfast sandwiches.
Yep.
Like, I really want to be breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every neighborhood. Quality, premium ingredients, but still fast food.
Yep. Love it. And so when did Herbs happen? When did Prince Street first happen? What kind of
Prince Street, we launched Prince Street in 2001, 2020. Wait, pandemic was 2020, March 2020.
Yeah.
November 2020, I launched Prince Street.
Okay.
Herbs Burgers was bought probably from Sonia in 2020, maybe in 2021. And then I launched it in July 1st, 2022, the first one.
Cool.
First.
Got it. And so, yeah, by the way, I remember ordering a ton of Prince Street in COVID, and once I could get it delivered.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, I mean, that was great. So fast forward, it's only been a few years here. How many Prince Street locations do
I
you
have
have
13 open.
Wow. In 3 years, right? Basically. Or,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically three
Or four. Sorry, four.
4. Yeah, we're in 2024. So yeah, 4 years.
2020. 13 locations in 4 years, in your first 4 years.
Well, it will actually end up being, it'll be 15, because Chicago will open this year, and Miami might open as well.
Wow.
But yeah,
Chicago needs some better pizza. I'm not a deep dish. It's fun, it's novel, but like from a day-to-day perspective, you need that once a year.
that's what I say too. And I love, and by the way, that's tavern style pizza at Chicago you could eat every day. That's what they're
Yeah.
technically like known for, is this tavern style. But everyone, Lou Malnati's just made Chicago known for,
Yep.
like, it's unbelievable
Yep.
marketing. Them and Giordano's made Chicago known for deep dish pizza, and they sell it all. And the best one is
Yep.
Pequod's, in my opinion, which
Oh, is it?
is awesome.
Nice.
But again, it's once a year pizza. And
Yep.
honestly, I didn't want to open in Chicago. And I didn't want to because I was like, they have their pizza. I don't want to step on their territory.
Yeah.
And I kept on, there's relentless food operator named David Choi, who kept on calling me and said, we need a Prince Street here. We need a Prince Street. I'll operate it. Can we do it? Can we do it? Finally, I met with him and his partner. And I was like, all right, if you guys really believe in this, I'll do it. Because Chicago's a massive market that I'd love to be in. But I didn't want to go in alone. I wanted to like go in with like a Chicago hometown person.
Yep.
So,
and to your credit, man, and I would not give empty compliments. Like, you've done such a good job with the product. Like, my wife got it, I think it was early last week or the week before. She got the naughty pie, and now I'm on this full meal prep regimen, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm having a slice. Like, it's too good. I'm having it. I'll be fine. Like, you guys have done such a good job that I actually do see the success, because at the end of the day, product's everything. And like, you've got a great brand now, and the product stands up, that you get people the first time from the brand, but they come back because of the product. And I watch my wife do it. And frankly, at this point, there's a lot of pizza options in LA, and Prince Street's one of the best.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There is a lot of great. I think we are really technically the first real New York pizzeria in LA.
Yeah,
and it's not a franchise. It's very like
Yeah.
So it was I promise to the family was that I would keep everything the same as best as I could, and there's no reason to change it. Like, so.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's popular there for a reason. And so, how many in Herbs how many locations do you have? Herbs
We'll open up our 7th in Torrance next week. So
that's awesome. So you've gone in 4 years from not owning a restaurant to owning over 20.
Yep. And I
does that feel?
also own a bar called the Bar Next Door that was rated as best bar in America its first year in existence.
Where is it?
Yeah, it's right beside Prince Street. And it was Esquire that rated it. I don't know. So yeah.
Wow. And what gave it that rating? What's amazing?
Honestly, my mixologist, my bar director, Bryn, Smith is a
Yeah.
magician with her cocktail creations, and it's a high-end craft cocktail bar set in old, it feels like a very old Hollywood setting. And it was
Mhm.
actually the old Marilyn Monroe acting agency where she walked in as
Oh,
Norma Jean
cool.
and came out as Marilyn Monroe. And
Yeah.
so it's really like a high end craft, and it's the only restaurant on the Sunset Strip that plays reel to reel analog music. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so, well, let's start with that. Like, how does it feel? Again, 4 years. Like you grinded a lot. You went through different things. You kept hustles going, and now you've built a little empire. Like it's on the upswing. And like, I mean, again, from the outside in, it looks like there's a lot of blue sky in front of you. Like, how does that feel? Is it more? Are you focused on the issues and there's more stress, or do you have time to celebrate it? Like, where is your mindset on it
Uh,
now?
I don't. I need to celebrate my wins a little bit more often.
Very typical founder, to be clear. Very,
So
very
and
typical.
to be honest with you, I was driving to work the other day, and I was like, man, I suck. I was like
Right?
literally
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I,
And by the way, if anyone else told you that like, oh yeah, 4 years ago I was running a little app to like help promote other restaurants and now I own 22 restaurants, what would you
well,
say to them?
I said I can't call anybody and say that because I'm not. They would be, what are you talking about? You suck. Like they would like. I was like, but
Right.
I have high expectations. Like I think I should be
Yeah.
doing more, and it's not even like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's not about opening up more restaurants. It's like, okay, I got to make sure my operations are so dialed in now. Like there's more things that I have to worry
Yeah.
about than just like opening businesses. It's more like the
Yeah.
operations, the product, keeping everything the same, like dealing with the outside factors of obviously opening a businesses in California, as opposed to other
Yeah.
states, and now opening in other states and dealing with differences there, and just keeping the brand also like tight, and it's just it's all different problems every day. I don't
100%.
feel like I work. Honestly, if I didn't have a wife and family and 3 kids, I wouldn't pay myself. I would stay
Right.
broke like I
Yeah.
was like in working in Hollywood, and just because it's the best job I could ever ask for. Like I said, I'm producing movies. I think I'm producing movies and TV shows, but it's food. And the food's the product, and the audience is the customer, and like let's keep them entertained by serving premium
Yeah.
content that, in my opinion, my food, everybody can eat it. Whether you make, $10 an hour or you make $1 billion an hour, you can eat a premium burger. My burger, the Just For You burger, which is just sauce, herb sauce, cheese, and meat in a sesame bun, is $5.
Yeah. Which doesn't exist anymore. Like a Big Mac's 18, I think, or
Yeah,
something
and then you
ridiculous.
can put
Like,
whatever you want on it, Just For You, make it however you
yeah.
want. But
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a premium product. So
Yeah.
it's same with the pizza. It's like I feel like I can hit the masses with premium. So
Yeah. I love that. And so, a couple more questions for you. What's next? Is it just keep going?
it's funny because I get like a few offers now, that things I would have been like, oh my god, you want to work with me, and I can't do it. But I would like want 10 years or 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I would have been like, yeah, let's do this. Let's create this project together. Or I am
Yeah.
doing because during COVID, when I did open up the Prince Street in West Hollywood, I took the whole building because I didn't want to have
Uh-huh.
neighbors. So I opened up the bar on one side, and I'm working on an ice cream project on the other side. It's called After
Fun.
School Ice Cream. And I have an amazing woman who's creating all the ice creams and cookies, and she created the flower shop, the exploding cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm collabing with her on this really cool ice cream project. And
Mhm.
I'm building infrastructure within my hospitality group. Like you never
Yeah.
realized, how important a finance team was to you until
Yeah. Till you get a cash flow scare and you go, oh,
yeah,
fuck.
or you're good, or there's like just like you're like, oh, this is real. Like you got to, or your first lawsuit, and all the
Yeah.
above.
It's so fun. I love that you just said that because I had this conversation, frankly, earlier this morning. Like a friend that was telling me about his lawsuit, I'd mentioned one that I was in before. And it's like, I think people that don't run businesses don't realize that that is literally just part of doing business. Like you are going to get sued. Like if you're at all a monicum of success, there is some scumbag out there trying to grab at it in a cheap way. And so it's just part of it,
from
as
all
you said.
angles. And the more successful you
Yep.
are, the more they're after you. There's
Yep.
people out there that literally go into restaurants looking to sue people. It's like, and you
Yeah.
can't fix it. Like if somebody said, "Hey,
Yep.
your railing that you built is too high and it's not wheelchair compliant," and the plan checker or the health department didn't catch that, but the
Yeah.
lawyer did. Well, give me a day to fix it, and I'll fix it.
Yeah. Right.
Don't just so no, they hit you with a $25,000 lawsuit. Then I got to pay my lawyer to negotiate back and forth, and then they settle for 10,000. But I'm
Yep.
like, if I didn't have 12 restaurants, that could
Yep.
kill all my profits for the month. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Exactly.
so
Yep. No, it's really the legal state. You kind of mentioned doing business in California. It's absurd,
yeah.
but it's another topic. Last question for you, because I think this is, this whole podcast is about like the origin stories of people that have ended up doing great things, and you really have, regardless of I know like I deal with it too. A lot of people deal with it with like you always look at like, yeah, I'm here, but like for you it would be like Tillman Fertitta, like you know I could be the biggest restaurateur in the world. Like I'm not there yet, so we're always looking to the next step, but you've hit it. You've done really well and you've built something great and you really stuck with it. You really had a lot of grit. What is one thing that you either did hear or wish you heard early on that really helped you like really grind through the tough times and really pursue this?
I think it's really like finding something you're passionate about and never giving up and just being relentless and not stopping. And, but also at the same time, learning to pivot and look at yourself in the mirror and, find out what you're good at and what you're not good at and build a great team around you. I mean, I couldn't do this without amazing people around me every day. I've got a young team, but I've got a really hungry team and really ambitious. And look, everyone's going to make mistakes, but you just keep persevering through it. And I love, like I tell my kids that all the time. They persevere. Screen time, like I've never seen it. Like they deserve it. You know what I mean? Like you deserve it. You work so
My daughter just turned 2 and somehow she's already wants the screen time. Thankfully not iPads, but she wants the TV on all the time if she can.
so
Like the most common thing, she literally wakes up now and just goes, "Watching Moana?" Like, no,
Yeah.
we're not watching Moana. She goes, "No, watching Moana."
so I
But that, yeah, no,
it's
exactly.
persevering and really my because even with Prince Street, I've seen been with Prince Street with highs and lows, and just realizing keep making a great product, make your customers happy with every slice, and that's it. That's really what we're trying to do, is spread happiness through food.
Love it. Well, Lawrence, has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on Hawke Talk.
Thank you. This was awesome.